What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be jumping back into the world of NASCAR and finding out more information about one of the iconic drivers of NASCAR. This is Jeff Gordon. So this one right here is how great was Jeff Gordon. So let's go check it out. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Anyway, let's get it on.
So I probably don't need to make a video on Jeff Gordon to tell you he was a good driver, but I want to showcase how dominant he was and his journey. Although there have been some very good in-depth documentaries on him, this should cover a lot in just a handful of minutes. To start off, Jeff Gordon was born in 1971 right outside of San Francisco, California. Shortly after he was born, 6 months to be exact, his parents were divorced.
Damn, that's
Now,
tough.
although this is very sad, his new stepfather, John, would be the one who introduced Jeff into the world of racing. John, according to Hannah Elliott of Forbes, was described as, quote, optimistic, diligent, observant, and conscientious about details, all qualities the best athletic coaches possess, end quote. Jeff even credits his stepfather as the reason for his success, being a great mentor and coach on and off the track. Jeff's newfound love in auto racing at the young age of 4 led to his first racing, BMX bikes.
Wow.
After that unconventional introduction,
You know, I've noticed this. A lot of people I see on YouTube come from BMX racing, like the people in the car, the car scene. They have some sort of BMX thing going on. Maybe BMX is the way to go with your kids. BMX and go-karting, maybe. I don't know.
Into motorsports, Jeff began racing quarter midgets the very next year. Jeff stuck with quarter midgets, winning the national championship for the series 2 times at age 8 and 10. During this time, and up until age 13, Jeff was also racing go-karts. He was beating out other kids much older than him pretty much every weekend. However, there was a low ceiling in motorsports in California at the time. This was the mid-80s, and the east side of the United States was definitely taking racing much more seriously. In an effort to further Jeff's young and rising career, the family moved to none other than Indiana, right outside of Indianapolis. Now, it's
so dope what parents do for kids, you know. Like, they've seen the potential in him and decided to uproot their whole life just to put all their eggs in that one basket, you know what I'm saying? And say, yep, we're gonna do this and it's gonna make it. That's crazy sacrifice.
Quite obvious at the time that Jeff was on the road to Indy. He was racing go-karts, he pretty much moved to Indy, and after arriving, Jeff started racing sprint cars. His intentions were set. At the young age of 19, Jeff won the USAC Silver Crown Championship. This has been won by other dirt car greats like Tony Stewart.
This is actually funny, you know, because I just reacted to sprint car racing and they mentioned Jeff Gordon there, and I thought it might have been him, but I wasn't sure. So now this is like nailing that assumption that I had.
Dave Still, and Jason Leffler. It was at this time that Jeff started dipping his toe in NASCAR. With obvious Indy ambitions, Jeff just didn't have the funding to go that route. He landed a couple race deal in NASCAR with Hugh Connerty. Hugh and Jeff met at an Outback. After this meeting, Jeff secured sponsorship from Outback through Hugh, who was actually a partner of the steakhouse. Jeff attempted a Busch race at Charlotte in 1990, but failed to qualify. A couple weeks later, it was a different story. Jeff would qualify second in his first ever Busch Series race.
Damn, son.
Unfortunately, 33 laps into the race, Jeff crashed out. Obviously, this was definitely an endurance race compared to his previous racing experiences. After this, Jeff was able to meet Bill Davis at the Buck Baker Driving School in Rockingham. Bill was impressed enough to offer Jeff a full-time ride in the Busch Grand National Series for the 1991 season. It was also around this time that legendary Formula One driver Jackie Stewart offered Gordon a test ride in Europe in an open-wheel car. As he was already contracted in NASCAR full-time, he passed on the opportunity. He would later test an F1 Williams car at Indy in 1999, but nothing ever came of it. Jeff's 1991 Busch Series season opened with a complete shocker as he DNQ'd at Daytona, the season opener. However, through the next 12 races, Gordon earned 3 top 5 finishes, which was really solid for a rookie.
That's not bad at all.
He then captured a pole at the Orange County Raceway and got some time out front, leading 75 laps before falling to 9th place. Gordon's performance dipped in the last half of the season, mostly due to his 5 DNFs in the last 10 races. His sophomore season in 1992 brought his first real success, earning 3 race victories. This caught the eye of Rick Hendrick, who entered him into the final race of the Cup Series season, the 1992 Hooters 500. So this race is absolutely legendary. It was the last race of arguably the best championship battle in series history, in which Alan Kawicki won. It was Jeff's first race and Richard Petty's last race. Although Gordon crashed out much like his first Busch Series race, he did beat Petty, so the total tally for head-to-head is 1-0 in Gordon's favor. Anyways, I'm done drooling over that race now. Rick Hendrick would offer Gordon a full-time ride in the Cup Series for 1993. He would become the first ever rookie to lead the opening lap of the Daytona 500. Overall, his rookie season was quite impressive, minus his 11 DNFs. Much like the Busch Series, it only took one season for...
Well, I don't feel like DNFs is as crazy as it sounds in NASCAR, because everybody's always crashing, right? So it doesn't really matter. It just means you didn't avoid the issue. It doesn't mean you're a bad driver. It just means there's chaos and you were involved in it. So, yeah.
Jeff to get a handle on things. 1994 would bring a variety of success, including winning the Busch Clash to kick off the year, followed by his first points-paying win in the Coke 600, potentially NASCAR's toughest race. He would go on to win the first ever Brickyard 400, making him an instant hit. With Hendrick, his legendary partnership with DuPont, and Magical crew chief Ray Everingham, the Wonder Boy, a nickname given to him by Dale Earnhardt, was destined for even more success.
Yeah, let's go.
In 1995, only his third year, Gordon won 7 races. He collected a career-high 8 poles en route to his maiden championship. The next 3 years, from 1996 to 1998, in a 96-race span, Gordon completely embarrassed the field. He won 33 races, 2 championships, and had 69 top 5 finishes.
Jeez,
so
that's
Jeff
impressive.
won 38% of the races he finished. He won 7 crown jewels. It is known that he had a big rivalry with Earnhardt at this time, but he completely dominated Earnhardt. He got twice as many victories as him and 2 more championships from 1994 to 2000. His 1998 season was so dominant, he had 19 top 5s in the last 20 races. In 19 of the 33 races that season, he had a top 2 finish. His average finish was 5.7. I mean, just unbelievable. So Gordon won his 4th and final title in 2001, just his 9th season. So this is where it goes downhill for Jeff. And by downhill, I mean no more titles.
Damn.
The dude just kept winning races. In the next 6 years, he still won 23 races and finished in the top 4 in standings 4 more times. Jeff's career definitely took a hit when Johnson came into the scene in 2002. Before this, Jeff was winning 10 plus races a year while his teammates were lucky to win a race. Johnson won 3 races his rookie season, and it was apparent the team was sharing top resources between the 2 teammates. You can tell.
It was no longer the number 1 driver, man. It was no longer the number 1 driver. You know, they got a new young buck in town.
In 2004, Gordon and Johnson combined for 13 wins, while teammates Vickers and Labonte didn't score a single top 5. Over recent years, you can tell resources have been super diluted throughout the team. With the exception of Kyle Larson in 2021, the last decade has been pretty much even within the team in terms of success. Gordon wasn't the only focus of the team, and this hurt him. It was also in this stretch when Jeff Gordon hosted Saturday Night Live back in 2003.
What?
In 2007, he got his
show?
76th career win at Phoenix, tying his rival Dale Earnhardt. He flew an Earnhardt number 3 flag as he celebrated. He'd end up breaking Dale's win total the next week at Talladega. Jeff Gordon would hit his first rough patch 15 years into his career just the next year in 2008, his first winless season since his rookie season.
Damn.
In 2009, he found victory lane once again at Texas, but 2010 followed another winless season. Jeff wasn't slow by any means. I mean, he averaged 20 top
old,
10s a year from 2008 to 2010, and even had a 3rd place in the championship standings in 2009, but just wasn't in race-winning form. However, the same 3-year stretch awarded Jimmie Johnson with 20 wins and 3 championships, and 5 wins for Mark Martin. All the while, Jeff Gordon only had 1 win.
That's crazy.
It would be easy to blame crew chief Steve Letarte for this, but they won 6 races together in 2007, so I'm not sure if that was the answer. It was the answer for Rick, as after just 5 seasons, Steve got the boot from the 24 car and left the door open for Gordon's newest chapter with crew chief Alan Gustafson in 2011. This would also be a new chapter in terms of sponsorship, as DuPont stepped back from sponsoring Jeff for all of the races to about half. Drive to End Hunger and AARP hopped on board. The relationship with the sponsor and crew chief would bring Jeff almost immediate success, winning the 2nd race of the 2011 season.
Back on it.
He would win 5 more times from 2011 to 2013. 2013 would also be the release of his famous commercial titled Test Drive, promoting Pepsi Max in the Camaro. Now, the next year in 2014 was a memorable year for Jeff. He'd win 4 races, including a record 5th Brickyard 400, and was caught up in one of the wildest postseasons in NASCAR history. In a chase at Texas, Brad Keselowski made contact with Jeff and cut his tire down, resulting in Jeff getting knocked out of championship contention and a brawl in the infield. 2015 would be Jeff's last season in NASCAR. Despite a winless regular season, Jeff turned it on in the postseason. He won in spectacular fashion at Martinsville, which locked him into the Final 4, which gave him a shot at the championship. This is one of the best celebrations of all time. This unfortunately would be Jeff's last win, and he'd lose out to Kyle Busch in the championship.
That's cool.
He came back in 2016 to fill in for an injured Dale Earnhardt Jr., but wouldn't make much noise. Overall, Gordon was a legend. Guy was unbeatable in the 90s with the historic run, and he did not necessarily dominate, but was a top 5 driver until he retired. He had somewhat of a resurgence in 2011 to end off his career with a new crew chief. The brand he created within the sport, a lot of his rivalries, battles, impressive drives, and controversies are just not covered in this video, because I wanted to really focus on the sheer numbers. There are way too many Jeff Gordon documentaries out there made by much more talented people than a random kid sitting in front of his computer that go really in depth into all of those things. So if you are interested in all of the details like that, make sure you go look one of those up.
Nah, that was sick. That was a good video right there. I didn't know much about him, but obviously, like, you heard the name Jeff Gordon all the time, but I didn't know the stats or anything like that, even if he was a good driver or not. But his name was everywhere, like games and things. So he must have been good. And yeah, this proves that he was not the best, but he did all right. And sometimes in life, that's what you gotta do. Just do all right and win some championships. Thank you very much for watching this one, guys. See you in the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye. Peace.